does the person you are with encourage you to read? You have to ask, what does he bring for me? Roses or books? If someone has a stake in making you better, that person will push you towards books. Books are what we all need. The yajna fire, not ordinary fire, not fire that is used to cook your food or do your other daily chores. The fire that cleanses, the fire in which you offer the best that you can and for the best that you can. Fire as an agent of cleansing, as an agent of upliftment. Fire as the means that takes you upwards. That fire is being referred to here, not ordinary fire. So, Agni, take us towards Aishwarya. The English word prosperity is not very apt here. Aishwarya. Aishwarya comes from the same root as Ishwar. So that's the designated role of fire, to take you towards Ishwar, to take you towards the all-commanding one. You know of all the roots. You know how it can happen. We can at most submit ourselves to you. So what is practically being said? Let's understand. I can at most offer myself to be purified. What happens after purification, I do not know. Only the fire knows. The fire that will purify me, only that fire knows what will happen after. In other words, I do not know. I do not know. And that is a statement of strong faith. I do not know what will happen to me once I have burnt myself out in that fire. That which can be burnt down will be reduced to ashes. That much is certain. What will remain of me, I do not know. Yet, my faith is so strong and my dissatisfaction with my current self is so strong that I am prepared to leap into the flames. I am prepared to leap into the flames. That which is to be burned down will burn down. What will remain, I do not know. Who knows? The fire knows. Now, nobody knows whether the fire knows. But what is certain is that you do not know. So I do not know, yet I am leaping into the fire. And now I am submitting myself to the fire and saying, you take me to the gods. You know the best way. You do what is the best for me. Overcome our crooked faults. How are those crooked faults to be overcome? They are to be overcome through annihilation. How will fire overcome all that which is faulty? It will simply burn it down. So there is really no middle way possible. You cannot retain your faults and yet manage the truth. In other words, you cannot retain your current self and yet reach a higher dimension of being. And that is a very common temptation, is it not? Remaining who you are, you will be shown the truth or you will be delivered some kind of enlightenment. That cannot happen. In fact, enlightenment or illumination or deliverance or liberation are no positive states. Really, they are just names for freedom from who you are. What remains after that? Till the time this question is relevant to you, you are not liberated. So what remains after that is an irrelevant question. You are liberated when the question of what happens after liberation becomes irrelevant to you. You don't feel interested anymore. As long as you feel interested and you seek a guarantee or a security, you want to know what is it that will emerge from the flames. You simply won't even have the courage to go to the flames. To go to the flames, first of all, you must have a contempt for the result. You must be indifferent. You will say, I do not bother. What is important is freedom from all this that surrounds me from outside, from within. This has to be gotten rid of. Who am I to think of the result? Anyway, the thinker within me is quite corrupted. If I allow myself the power to act only after getting an assurance regarding the result, then I'll act only when the result is suitable to the inner corrupt agent within me. And that action will anyway be of no use. Are you getting it? If you will act only after the inner one gets a guarantee that the result of the action will be favorable, then the result of the action is favorable to whom? To the inner corrupt one. Therefore, what is the action leading to? The action is leading to a continuation, a sustenance of the corrupt one inside. Therefore, such action is anyway of no use. Whenever right action will happen, in the inward sense, it will happen with very little regards towards the result. I'm sure that is ringing a very familiar bell. Is that taking you to Krishna? Chapter 3, 4, 5. We bow down to you again and again and again with the utmost reverence. Getting it? You're not actually bowing down to Agni. You are reminding yourself that you do not like bowing down. If you actually do something in a very natural way, you do not need to state it so often and repeat it 3 times. Do you even say, I breathe, I breathe, I breathe? Now, breathing is so natural to your body that you don't have to say that. But bowing down is not at all natural to the ego. Therefore, it is important that you keep saying, I bow down, I bow down, I bow down, because you anyway do not bow down. By saying that you bow down, at least you remind yourself how stiff you are. How resistant to any kind of surrender are you? Are you getting it? So these are all, you see, actually methods in dealing with the mind. Each of these verses is a method towards realization. These are not merely clusters of words. If you go to them with intensity, with a determination to understand, they will act like very potent instruments, and they will bring about a great transformation in you. But no instrument, remember, works on its own. It requires an operator. So you have to go to it, operate the instrument, and then let the instrument do what it would. Right? You can operate an instrument, and then if you run away from the instrument, again the instrument is helpless. So not only have you to go to the instrument, you actually have to operate it, and then you have to allow the instrument to do its doing. The mind continues because mind creates for itself an apparition of truth. Mind has certain concepts about itself. And the world the mind looks at is always ratifying, verifying the concepts that the mind has. Since that ratification is coming constantly and from everywhere and everybody, therefore the mind feels entitled to believe that its concepts are the truth. After all, what is the truth? That which continues without interruption and without exception. Right? That is the truth. So you believe in something. And if you see that what you believe in is being practiced everywhere, is evident everywhere, then you feel emboldened to take your belief as the truth, right? For example, I am the body, and what do I see? He is acting as the body, he is acting as the body, you are acting as the body, he is acting. So I feel assured that my belief about myself is true. Correct? What do the Upanishads do? They cause a break in your belief. Temporarily, for a while, they bring you to something that is outside of your regular belief system. And that can prove sufficient because truth is not supposed to have any exceptions. And the truth that you believe in, if it is shown to have even one or two exceptions, then that truth is exposed as false, because truth is not supposed to have even one exception. The Upanishads therefore act as some kind of circuit breakers. You live in your own contained world, and because the world is self-contained and self-ratified, therefore there is no way any element inside your world is ever going to disrupt your world or call it out as false. Are you getting it? All is just an image of the other. All is just one same thing. Therefore, there are no contradictions really. In some sense, we live in a world that carries no contradictions. For example, your belief is that we all live for our own sake. Do you see any contradiction? Your belief is that life is short. Do you see any contradiction? Your belief is that when one gets attracted towards the other, that is called love. Do you see any contradiction? Because you do not see any contradictions, therefore, the belief becomes more and more cemented that what you are thinking is the truth. The Upanishads mischievously show you a contradiction. And now you are flabbergasted. Because one contradiction is enough to bring down your entire mental palace. Are you getting it? 1,000 things are not sufficient to verify the truth. But one exception is enough to nullify the truth. Now the mind is really, cringing. Because what is the belief of the mind? The mind's belief is, this is incomplete and that is incomplete and that is unfulfilled. But here what is being said? This is full and that is full. Now this remaining this, it is yet full, and that remaining that, it is yet full. The mind cannot take it. It comes as a shock. A very abrupt shock. A koan-like shock. Are you getting it? Fullness comes forth from fullness. How is it possible? What has the mind seen? Whenever something comes forth from something, the thing that it comes forth from gets reduced. No? You have 10 rupees, you give 4 rupees to him. You are no more at 10. But here it is being said that it is possible to give away without being reduced. Rude shock. When fullness is taken from fullness, fullness remains. I'm sorry. And this is extremely hurtful to the mind. Because it is not even being said that fullness is just one unimaginable entity, indivisible, doing nothing, something of the beyond, something transcending thought. No. Here it is being said, no. Fullness does give birth. Fullness comes forth from fullness. No, that is a double whammy. Had it been said that fullness is, the mind would have probably accepted it. Not much discomfort is there. Fullness is, fine, fullness is. Let me continue in my world, in which there are little things, in which there is birth and death, something comes forth from something merges into something. All these phenomena keep happening in my world. So this is my world where all these things are happening. And then there is the world of fullness where fullness is. No. The Upanishad is not allowing that kind of breathing space to the mind. The Upanishad is using all the phenomena that belong to the earth, to the world, but imbuing them with the flavor of totality. So, for example, the Upanishad is not saying that this does not exist and that does not exist and all separations are false, that all littlenesses are false. Mind you, the Upanishad is not saying that this is not this and that is not that, all is just fullness. No. The Upanishad is saying, no, this is and that is, it's just that this is full and that is full. No, the mind cannot take this. I remember, to this extent, the mind is being accepted that this is and that is. Now, this is the world of the mind. This is and that is. So the mind is all right, and the mind, is being taken along. Fine, come with me, mind. So this is and that is. Now, this is full and that is full. Now the mind is getting a rude jolt. This is full and that is full. Had you said, this is not and that is not, the mind would have happily agreed. Fine, this is not and that is not. That is the language of the spiritualists. That's the bogus kind of verbiage they keep spewing all the time. This is not, that is not, and nothing exists. You are not there, I am not there. Mind says, yes, you are not there, I am not there. Both of us are happy. Now let's do our respective things. No. This is full and that is full. Now, how is this full? This looks definitely half full or not full at all. Similarly, it's not that the truth does not come from anywhere and does not proceed into anything. No. It is being said, no, the truth does give rise to many things. And what are those things? Each of those things is full. Fullness comes forth from fullness. And the mind does not know what to do. So, fullness is giving birth to something. Something is arising from fullness. Yes, sir. So, what is arising from fullness? Fullness. This is a ladder between two dimensions. And that's the task of the Upanishad or the teacher. The world of the mind is being helped to meet the transcendental. To some extent, it is the world of the mind, and then suddenly it becomes the transcendental. This is, to this extent, it is the world of the, and then full. That is full. Fullness comes forth from, comes forth. How is it possible? We were told that truth does not do anything. Fullness taken away from fullness, fullness remains. But we were told that nothing can be taken away from the truth or reduced from it or subtracted from it. No, fullness can be taken away from fullness. Oh my God, so bad. What happened to fullness then? Fullness remains. This is the kind of assault that the mind cannot survive. All your traditional stuff, the mind has become too familiar with. All that has actually become the mind's regular diet. And this is not regular. This can never be regular. If the mind broods too much over it, it will turn mad. The only way to avoid that madness is silence. Therefore, the mind has to turn silent, and that's what the Upanishads want. The mind has to be brought to a place where its usual functioning gets totally disrupted. It is left with no confidence in itself. And when the mind is left with no confidence in itself, it just stops. And then there is peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Having done what the rishis set out to do, they declare that the mission is now complete. And how do they declare the mission complete? Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That was the mission, to bring you Shanti.